the comedy capital of the prairie, where there's always room for more people, it's the CBC Winnipeg Comedy Festival, starring Arnold Brown, Ed Byrne, Simon Evans, Tony Hendricks, Steve Hughes, Louis Ramey, and your host, Rowdy Roddy Piper. This week, the CBC Winnipeg Comedy Festival presents My Hometown. And now, here's Rowdy Roddy Piper.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, John. My name is Rowdy Roddy Piper. I'm a professional wrestler, and I'm the reason Hulk Hogan's got no hair. And I want to welcome you to the CBC Winnipeg Comedy Festival. All right, now, I am thrilled. I am thrilled to be here in this international event. I really am. It's perfect for me. Number one, I am definitely international. I've been around the world more times than Santa Claus. And number two, this is my hometown. It's good to be home, Winnipeg. It's good to be home. Now, I haven't been to Winnipeg for, I don't know, 30 years, something like that, you know. I know. I gotta tell you, nothing's changed, you know. Not a damn thing. It is true. I was not born in Winnipeg. I was born in Saskatoon, Saskatchewan, which is the only city in Canada that is named after a fruit. Except for that in Prince Albert, I guess. All right? Now, Winnipeg, this is where I had my very first big-time professional wrestling match. I was 15 years old. I was so proud, man. I was 167 pounds. I went down to the Winnipeg Arena, and they matched me against a guy. His name was Larry the Axe Henning. 320 pounds, 6'3". Had a pumpkin for a head. Looked like he's smuggling coconuts in his shoulders. There I'm standing in a kilt, 15 years old. That night, my first world record. Shortest match in the history of the Winnipeg Arena. I went from being on top of the world in 10 seconds to being down in the bottom of the pile. I was basically the Kim Campbell of professional wrestling. Tonight, we celebrate great performers from all around the world. We celebrate what makes them unique and what we share in common. Because deep down, I believe we're the same. Whether we're black, or white, or from the East, or from the West, or whether the U.S. has already invaded your country, or you're still on their to-do list. This is Canada, this is Winnipeg, and you rock. And I love you. Our first guest hails from the country that gave Canada her freedom. He's coming back to make sure we're not wrecking the place. From England, the very funny Simon Evans. Give it up for him.
Thank you. It is a joy to be here in this historical and wonderful theatre. A couple of things I'll deal with straight away. Firstly, my accent may be rather exotic to some of your ears. So if you are struggling to place it, I'll tell you straight away, it is in fact educated. The other thing is that by now a few people are usually thinking this is all very well, but where are his eyes? I do have eyes. Let me reassure you, I can open them up. It's not very comfortable for me and probably not very pleasant for you, so I'll keep them squinting if that's all right, but they are in there. It can appear on stage as though there's nothing more than a couple of crude knife slits pushed into my face. Some sort of gingerbread man, or perhaps a child's pottery project, you know. Spent a bit too long on the nose, couldn't get it straight, just jabbed a spatula in for the eyes. And that'll do. I'm off for a wank. Girls will be girls after all, but now they are in there. I have always had small eyes. I remember the insult started, I was quite young. Piggy little eyes. Eyes like pistils in the snow. Seem bigger eyes on a potato. Mother could be very cruel. Still, she's in a home now. Somewhere. Well, I say home, it's more of a self-storage facility, really, but does the trick, you know. Perfectly humane, they check her for damp and that sort of thing. So, we've been invited to come here and tell you a bit about our hometowns. That seems to be the theme. I come from London in England. London, which is, of course, a fairly well-known city. It's often described by the people who live there not so much as a city, as a collection of villages, each with its own distinctive drugs and drink and violent problems. It's fairly accurate. I live in Brixton, which is fairly notorious by London standards. It's loosely modelled itself on the sort of Detroit of the 1980s, I suppose, but without the solid industrial base. It's fairly rough. I live there with my wife and child, Matilda, who is one, our daughter, which is a good age, one, delightful. For an entire year, she was nothing, which was a difficult age, I found. Especially when people ask and you say, well, she's nothing. And there's an awkward silence. Some people got quite offended. In fact, social services were informed on one occasion. But we live in Brixton, so they didn't come, but still. Sent us a leaflet. I have to say, I've lived in London for 20 years. We have been bombed fairly continuously, actually, throughout that time, and not merely in the slang sense. Mainly from the IRA, of course, the Irish Republican Army, who've given it up now. I feel quite nostalgic, to be honest, for the good old days of the IRA, with their quaint old-fashioned warnings. They seem quite sportsmanlike in hindsight. We were not as grateful at the time as we should have been, I think, now. You often don't know what you've got till it's gone, do you? They packed it up, though, a little while ago, shortly after the Pope died, in fact. I don't know if he was running the show all that time. It was something many of us had suspected. I don't want to offend anyone here specifically, but I'm not a Catholic myself. Obviously, I'm Church of England, which is not really a religion at all, just a sort of tolerance for dry scones. You know, we don't really get the God bit of it all. It's more a question of manners than faith for us, I think. London, though, mainly, I suppose our single greatest problem these days is traffic. It's a continual worry. I know you probably think you have traffic here as well. I hear you have a traffic broadcast on your FM radio stations. Very amusing it is, too. Oh, bit of a jam on Main Street. Oh, no, it's all right. The lights have changed, that sort of thing. We have some very serious problems in London. 20% of our traffic apparently is caused by the school run, most of which seems to consist nowadays of people driving SUVs to take their kids all of half a mile into school. This is, I suppose, something we've caught off the Yanks, this ridiculous craze for these huge vehicles. And it is ridiculous. These things, 3 rows of seats. Oh, I need all these seats for my children. I'm so fertile. Yeah. You just watch me fill this thing up. They have bull bars on the front in case they run into a rhino in South London. They pull up outside the school, the door slides open, out crawls this aphid, which could have been flicked into school. Invariably, the larger the vehicle, the smaller the maggot which emerges. We have I don't know if you know this, we now have a congestion charge in London. If you want to drive into the centre of town, you have to pay the equivalent of $16 a day just to drive into the middle of town. If you want to park on the side of the road, a parking meter will cost you $10 an hour to park your cars. It's actually more than the minimum wage. There are kids working in McDonald's in central London can look through the window and see a parking meter earning more than they are. You've been a delight. Enjoy your evening. It's been Simon Evans speaking. I've been very grateful for the chance. Thank you. Cheers. Good night.
Coming up, Jamaica's Tony Hendricks blows some smoke, and Ireland's Ed Byrne downs a pint. Flying in from Jamaica without a plane, here's Tony Hendricks.
Good evening. How are you doing? I know what you're thinking. But don't adjust your set. I know you're thinking, we've never seen a white Jamaican, eh? I used to think I was white until my father pointed out it was a pigment of my imagination. I'm born in Jamaica, but I am in fact mixed. I am Jamaican, but I'm also English, African, French, Dutch, Jewish, Christian, Indian, Hindu. I'm an Anglo, Afro, Franco, Duco, Christo, Judo, Hindu. Perfect for Toronto. Has anybody here in this audience been to Jamaica at all? Fantastic. Where did you go, my friend? Oh, Chirios. You even said it right. That's fantastic. Oh, that's wonderful. Did you buy any souvenirs while you were there? A few, of course you did, because we Jamaicans are the greatest salespeople in the world. We will sell you people anything, legal and illegal. We carve stuff out of bamboo, make stuff out of shells, and just sell it to you. We'll sell you anything. A friend of mine, he has a little stall outside a cave. Yeah, and he sells all little, you know, trinkets and stuff. He had two human skulls, a big one and a little one, and someone came up and said, "What's the human skull?" He said, "That's Christopher Columbus." He said, "What's the small one next to it?" He said, "That's him as a boy." We will. We'll sell you anything. My cousin owned some souvenir shops. Someone came to her the other day. He'd been carving stuff. He said, "Do you want to buy 5 didgeridoos?" She said, "Look, don't be ridiculous. Didgeridoos are Australian. No one in their right mind is coming to Jamaica. Give them to me." They probably won't sell very well. They sold in one Saturday morning in half an hour. Boom! They flew out the store. And I said, "What do you expect?" Someone came in and went, "Holy moly, will you look at the size of that pipe?" You know how much ganja that thing can hold? 1.5 pounds a time. Pull it, light it, burn the fire! I was actually, I've been working in England recently, and I was going back home to Jamaica, but my family called me and said, no, you stay in England and just send back the money. So I didn't. I bought some stuff for myself. I bought myself a brand new second-hand car the other day, which was fantastic, a little Japanese economy car, a Lexus. Hey, if you got it, spend it, I say. It's a magnificent car. It's got all the boy toys you could want. Leather upholstery, great stereo, and the greatest boy toy of all, satellite navigation. Have you seen that in the cars? That little television screen in the dashboard with the map and the directions to tell you where to go? I programmed that thing to take me to places I already know how to get to. Just to have the company of the woman's voice, you know? Turn right in 300 yards. Turn right in 200 yards. Prepare to turn right. Only a woman would tell you to prepare to turn right. What the hell do you want me to do, my hair? I'm ready. I'll be honest, it took me 3 weeks to understand what it was saying. A woman's voice in the car giving directions. All I heard was ning, 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 ning. Yeah. And then my wife calls me. Hi, honey, you coming home? Turn right in 200 yards. You have a woman in the car with you? I fiddled with it. I found a man's voice. Unfortunately, it said, hello, sexy. I said, I'm not going that way. It's international. It's got loads of voices and languages. The Japanese voice took too long to give directions, you know. Oh, konnichiwa, honorable driver, please take right-hand turn. Then it showed a music video and all the words of the song run underneath the bottom. Got time for karaoke? The German voice was typically German. You will go south for 80 kilometers, then you will go straight over Poland, straight across France, across the English Channel. But as I travel around the world and I meet people from different races and religions, I notice that they show you love in different ways. And that's fantastic, you know. Some people, Asians, they greet you like they're praying. Namaste. Beautiful. Japan, konnichiwa. Italy, I'm not saying they're backwards, but they wave backwards. Ciao. New Zealand, what the hell is that about? Canada, some guys waved at us when we were coming along the freeway. England's not dissimilar, I tell you. You know, in England they're very friendly. Even the Queen does it. But in Jamaica, we show you a lot of love. We say things like blessed loveliness, guidance, honor, respect. People of Winnipeg, my name is Tony Hendricks. One love. Good night.
His people love good beer, fried food, and want more than anything to separate from the English, which means he can only come from Ireland or Quebec. Please welcome the wonderfully talented Ed Byrne.
Thank you very much. How are you going? My name's Ed, although over here I think you'll know me better as Darlene from Roseanne. Cheers. Yeah. I'm the Irish one. It's lovely to be here. I've been traveling quite a lot lately, which is typically Irish, straight away. I've been all over the place. Here I am in Canada. I've just been to America, Australia, New Zealand, Hong Kong. Basically, the last 10 years I've just been traveling the world, apologizing for Riverdance. It's what I do. I just go everywhere it's been and just go, sorry about that. Which is a tough job, because everywhere you go, Riverdance has been there. It's just everywhere you go. It's just it tours the world constantly, and that's because it was told to leave Ireland. Yeah. We just said, get out! Take Lord of the Dance with you. You bunch of mincing arseholes, honestly. Very sorry. Because Riverdance is one thing, but Lord of the Dance, what the f is that? Why did we? Who watched Riverdance and went, this isn't quite tacky enough for me? No. No, this is fairly tacky, I'll give you that, but what I'm looking for is a sort of mixture between this and a cheap Duran Duran video. That's the level of tackiness I want in a night out. It's all shiny shirts and high camp and bouffant hair and headbands. Headbands in this day and age, Winnipeg, I ask you. Well done, Michael Flatley, for dragging Irish dancing into the 20th century. Just a shame you only dragged us as far as 1982. There'll be leg warmers in the next show, you mark my words. Leg warmers and mullets. I have to say, it's lovely being here. I tell you what, Winnipeg, my dad would love it here. He really would. My dad would love it in the Peg, because if there's one thing he enjoys doing, it's washing his car. I tell you, this would be the town for him. If my dad lived here, he'd never have to talk to my mother. It would just be... Yeah, I've traveled across Canada quite a bit, actually. I've been to Calgary. That's quite a place. Any Calgarians in? Anybody? Yeah, yeah. You got that Calgary Tower there? That's quite something, huh? Oh, yeah. Calgary Tower. It's really not a lot to it, you know. It's just kind of, you go up a little tube and there's an observation deck, which is, you know, that's fine. I'm all for a little tourist attraction like that. But don't you think if you're going to build a building like that, where its sole purpose is you go up it and look around, build it taller than the buildings around it. I'm not an architect, I'm not, you know, but... Because you go up these towers around the world, you go up the CN Tower, the Eiffel Tower, you go up the Empire State, you go up these towers, and one thing they have in common is you go up them and you look around and you go, wow, what a view. You go up the Calgary Tower and you go, Wouldn't it be cool to work in that office up there? Of course, in Toronto, they've got that CN Tower. Anybody here from Toronto? Whooping like you're popular outside of Toronto. But you got that CN Tower. Very proud of it, they are. Very proud of it. I don't like it, because it cheats. It cheats. It's actually only a building till about halfway up. And then it's just a big spike. It's a big flagpole-y spike stuck on top. Look how tall our building is, you cheating Torontonian bastards, honestly. That's like me putting a toothpick in the end of my penis and going, look at the size of that, hey? Huh? Take it out of that, love, what? Thank you, after. There you go. I am the tallest comedian ever to perform at the Winnipeg Comedy Festival. Gasp at my enormity. I'll tell you one thing that gets me about this place, though, is that you can't buy alcohol in the supermarket. I don't like that. I don't know, because supermarket's the best place to buy booze. It's great fun. Honestly, what I do back home is like, if I'm having a party and I'm buying in the booze for the party, because I buy in booze when I'm having a party. I'm not one of these people who says, we're having a party, bring your own drink. Oh, you generous bastard, yeah. Maybe I'll bring my own chair as well, oh host with the most. Have you got a CD player? Do you want me to bring it? You're not inviting me to a party. You're inviting me to your house, asking me to bring the party with me. You gonna give me money for gas? No, I didn't think so. I'm not coming. So, But what I do that you can't do here, my favorite thing to do when I go shopping for booze is I like to go as a couple. I like to bring my girlfriend, you know, with me, you know, because you can play a little game called Looking Like Trash. And it's very simple. What you do is you fill your shopping cart with booze and only booze. Vodka, gin, tequila, wine, beer, just booze. But just before you get to the checkout, just before you get to the cash register, just for the laugh, you put in a box of Pampers. Oh, it's funny. No, it's great. Because then when you get to the cash register and you check everything through, you pretend you don't have quite enough money and you put the Pampers back. Oh, they look at you like you're scum. Folks, it's been absolutely lovely. Thanks very much for listening. Have a night, Byrne. Cheers. Good night.
Changing into his down undergarments, Steve Hughes is next. Please welcome the Wizard of Ozzy, Steve Hughes.
Hey. Hello, Canada. You friendly bunch. Oh, it's good to be here, although I wouldn't mind a cigarette. You're one of those countries, aren't you? The Irish have done it, you've done it, the Scots have now done it, although no one's quite as harsh as you. I'd like to buy a packet of cigarettes without a dead guy on them. You know what I mean? That's a little creepy. I know guys in death metal bands buy them and go, oh God, I'm not looking at that. Although we could put it on the album cover. So I like to smoke on stage, and now I just have to drink heroin. So it's I tried to give up cigarettes, I did. I bought a book on addictions. There's apparently in this book, if you're addicted to something, when you give it up, you replace it with something else, like a hobby. Right? So I'm trying to give up cigarettes, so I did a pottery course. Right? First day, everyone made ashtrays. Right? Which is a stupid plan and very embarrassing after sex as well. You know, so. Oh, yeah, you were great, baby. Made you a pot. But yeah, I'm from Australia. Sydney, originally. Which is a city I guess you'd all recognise, whether you've been there or not, because of the two most famous landmarks. You get the Sydney Harbour Bridge and the Sydney Opera House, right? Now, the Sydney Harbour Bridge, that's named after the fact that it's a bridge, right? In Sydney. It goes over the harbour, right? We don't muck around when we're naming things, right? Took us a little longer to name than the Great Sandy Desert, but, you know. The Snowy Mountains took an ages. So, because really, we just don't give a... You look at all the states in Australia, you get the three the English named, right? Queensland, New South Wales, Victoria. Huh? They said we can name the other three. South Australia, Western Australia, the Northern Territory. Is that all right? Sorted. See you later. I'd mention Tasmania, but it ruins the joke, so... And we've got the Opera House, you know, which is, geez, that comes in handy. Nothing Australians like more than a good bloody opera, you know. Hey, don't worry about the cricket, get me down to that opera. Let's watch this fat bastard sing. Brilliant though, but I don't miss Australia particularly. Because they like sport. I don't like sport, as you can probably tell. And they wanted me to play it. Rugby league, like football, full contact sport with other men. I was like, hey, are you kidding? It took mankind about 3 million years to walk on two legs. I don't need some Neanderthal pushing me back down on the ground every 5 minutes. We got a point. Did we, mate? That's just amazing. Amazing. Go and eat your orange, you idiot. Leave me alone. I'm a skinny guy, it hurts. I did cooking at school instead of sport. Yeah. I was into death metal and cooking. Yeah. Well, I was an angry man, but you've got to eat. Don't you? So, yeah. Bit of Satan and coriander. We're going to raise the devil, but first, nibbles. So, but I think, probably like certain parts of Canada, quite macho, Australia, quite macho. Football blokes at school would get very upset. You know, you cooking, Hughes? You gay, mate? Yeah, I'm gay, mate. I'm icing cakes with 30 chicks and you retards are showering together. So... Go and eat your orange. Australia is cool, I guess, in certain ways, but I never really felt 100% Australian, to tell you the truth, right? Because I'm not racist. Which is, that is quite a sweeping generalisation about the consciousness of an entire country. I'm not saying all Australians are racist. Only about 90% of them. You know, well, the other 10% are black. So it's... Well, you got white man living in a black man's country in the middle of Asia. They're still a bit spun out about that. They are Australians. We love the land. We love it. We love the land. That's why we all live on the coast, looking at the sea. You can have a look at the land? No. All right. It's huge, it's massive, it's scary. I'm not going in there. Maybe the English will come back. Nope. Anyway, that's all for me. I hope you have a brilliant night. Enjoy yourselves, and thank you very much.
Drier than day-old haggis, Arnold Brown is next.
Our next guest is a Glaswegian, which, if you don't know, is a very delicate and breakable Wegian. No. It's the person from Glasgow. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Arnold Brown.
Good evening, Winnipeg. That's a good start, isn't it? Do I look peculiar? Thing is, actually, all the comedians tonight are very, 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 very hip. I think you know where I'm coming from. Very, very hip indeed. They've flown in from everywhere to be in Winnipeg. I must concede that I'm more hip replacement. I like it here. I like it here. I also like it here. People ask me about the secret of comedy, the secret of great comedy. Great comedy is timing. For example, you, the audience, come here tonight, and I arrive 1 week later. That's bad timing. Of course, I am Scottish, but I'm also Jewish. Scottish and Jewish, two racial stereotypes for the price of one. Perhaps the best value in Winnipeg tonight. Perhaps not. You'll notice I use the comedy technique of self-deprecation, but unfortunately I'm not very good at it. I was coming to the theatre tonight and someone recognized me, and a very nice couple, very polite Canadians as usual, and sir, they called me sir. They said, in your show tonight, can you tell us the secret of happiness? I told them right away. I said, do you seriously expect me to tell you the secret of happiness just for $50? I mean, in some parts of Canada, they're paying $100 an hour for aromatherapy. But some people have discovered they've felt much happier swimming with dolphins. And it's amazing, isn't it? And it happened years ago because one sad person discovered he felt very happy swimming with the dolphins, and he passed the news on to all his other sad friends. And ever since then, these sad people have been chasing dolphins all over the world and swimming with them against their will. And they try to give the impression that the dolphins are having a good time. They're not. It just appears to be like that because of the way their mouths are shaped. They're crying inwardly. I mean, how would you like to be a dolphin? You've had a good breakfast, and dolphins, trust me, they have good breakfast. She knows. You know, you've had a good breakfast, you wake up, what do you see in the shore? Rows and rows of manic depressives. Waiting to swim with you. I say to these people tonight, leave the dolphins alone and get your own life. Well, thank you for listening, and want to say one thing to you, Winnipeg, tonight. If you've learned anything about life from my performance tonight, I'd be very much surprised. Tonight.
Happy to be north of the American South, Louis Ramey is coming up.
This American comedian has performed in Guantanamo Bay. So when we asked him to come to Canada, he said, sure. I've had lots of experience entertaining people my government treats poorly. Ladies and gentlemen, here's Louis Ramey.
Hello, hello, hello. Wow, I just want to start the show by saying there are some beautiful women in Winnipeg. My God. Woo! Man, I wish I brought a taser. Hey, you know, some guys bring flowers. I need a guarantee. You're pretty. Get in the car. Get in the car! No, I'm not joking at all. If I had a rental car, you'd be in my trunk. So, I am a New Yorker. Been doing lots of traveling. I was recently in Singapore. If you ever get a chance, go to Singapore. Nothing as empowering as being the tallest person in the entire country. Good Lord. Little kids called me Shaq. And I felt like a celebrity, too. Went to every nightclub, every restaurant. Huge lines. Not for me. Right on in. They didn't know who I was, but really, who's going to stop you? The bouncers for, too. And they're just like New York bouncers, too. No, man, you can't come in. Oh, you can't come in. Look at you. You can't come in. Look at you. Look at you. He's so cute. Can I get one of these? Can I get one? He said, just you are. All right. Well, Daddy's thirsty. There we go. There we go. Put some ice on that. When I got back to the States, I decided I was going to drive cross country. I drove from Key West, Florida to Los Angeles and back to New York. It's a good trip. I enjoyed the first 4 hours. You learn a lot driving cross country. I went places I never thought I'd go. Went to Aspen, Colorado. Beautiful place. You ever get a chance to go? Of course, nothing reminds you that you are the only black guy in town like fresh snow. Oh, you could see me on the map. I spent 2 weeks skiing, watching rich people hit trees. It was beautiful. Oh, hey, Bob, would you... What happened to you, man? Sorry, I thought I saw a black guy skiing. Ooh, Bigfoot. Then I went to Boulder, Colorado, very laid back. All the cops are wearing uniforms made of hemp with their Birkenstocks and their mountain bikes. Speed limit, 85 miles per hour. Everywhere, driveways, parking lots. I was doing 120 on the freeway. Cop pulls me over, goes, looks like you're in a hurry. I go, well, I am. He goes, well, be careful. Got any drugs in the car? No, try these. I got some. There you go. That blue one's gonna knock you out. On my way back, I went to Detroit, Michigan. Detroit and I have a history. First time I went to Detroit, I had my rental car stolen. Second time I went to Detroit, I had my car stolen. Didn't think they could take my car. Had the alarm on, doors locked, windows up. I was in the car, actually, at the... I was at a red light, minding my own business, sitting at the red light. They know their cars in Detroit. I'm at the light. All I can hear is... I look back, and the back seat is gone. I turn back around. I'm holding 2 sticks, sitting on blocks. I'm in the middle of the street going, you guys are good. Wow. I'd pay money to see that again. I swear to God. Oh, you guys are good. Man, that only took you. Where's my watch? In my travels, and in the last place, I went to Houma, Louisiana. Scary little place. One of those places you get off the plane, look around, and realize, wow, somebody's made a mistake. First night, Tuesday night, I do the show. After the show, guy walks up to me, no exaggeration, goes, man, I tell you, you're funny, man. Woo! You, woo! Woo! Man, I almost crapped my pants. I was watching you, man. Woo! You are going places. I'm telling you that right now. You are going places. And I'm not trying to blow no smoke up your ass. I'll be honest with you. I don't even like black people. So, yeah, it gets worse. He goes, man, I was watching your show. You were doing your jokety joke. And my brother looks at me and says, I bet Lewis is lonely in this town. Wish there was some way we could show him around. And then I remembered, hell, we're going hunting on Friday. So I want to know if you want to go hunting with us on Friday. Now, people, in all honesty, I did consider it. I asked the two most important questions. What are we hunting? And do I get a gun? Yeah. You know, just want to play it safe. Now, if you've ever gone hunting before, you'll probably know this. First thing they do, they shove a big safety vest on me, orange, down to here. I look at the guy, I go, look, I really would like to, this is kind of ruining the look. He says, nothing to worry about. First of all, you have to wear that because we're hunting deer, and we don't want anyone to mistake you for a deer. Don't laugh, don't laugh. Believe me, it's one of those things that sounds stupid, but you can't argue with the logic behind it. You're like, yeah, but yeah, I see your point. Second thing, you have nothing to worry about. Deer can't see orange. Now I'm gonna let that marinate for a bit. Found out later what he should have said was deer are colorblind. That I understand. That sounds simple. He didn't say that. He said deer can't see orange. Would set off that little alarm in my head. To which I replied, what the hell are you talking about? What are you doing? How'd you find that out? What are you throwing tangerine at deer? Is that it? What? Hey, Carl, get in here. You ain't gonna believe this. Apparently, he sees the limes, but he don't see them tangerines, baby. I think we're on to something. So you know how someone tells you something and you know it's crap, and if you don't prove them wrong, it's gonna bug you for the next 5 years? Couldn't get that image out of my head of an orange Volkswagen Bug going down the road, and all a deer being able to see is 4 tires and a hippie's head, and those hacky sacks on the back window. So I said, all right, if deer can't see orange, why not wear all orange? Big orange jumpsuit, huh? Then you're invisible. No longer the hunter, you're the predator. You don't even need a gun at that point. You can have a knife. Just walking up on deer. Gotcha! Didn't see me, did you? 'Cause I'm invisible. And then I realized how stupid that would be. You know, running through the woods of Louisiana in an orange jumpsuit. Thank you, my name's Louis Ramey.
Thank you, Winnipeg. It was a pleasure. Good night, and may God bless.
The National is next on CBC.